all I can say is what the absolute Elon. All right, y'all, 4 days out to the biggest IPO in history. And every day I'm waking up to these new headlines. I started this journey with you about 10 days ago to watch this whole thing unfold. And even I could not have predicted what's been happening this week. It's insane. And let me just say this before I get into it. I personally am a Tesla bull, and you know that. But I came into the SpaceX IPO completely neutral, sitting back, waiting to see what I believe could happen. All right. But after today's update, I am not neutral anymore. All right, let's get into it. SpaceX's IPO is already 2 times oversubscribed. They're only trying to raise $75 billion, but investor demand has already hit $150 billion. They've only been out there for 4 days on the roadshow. And so let me put that in perspective. All right. So the previous record for the largest IPO in history was Saudi Aramco. That was, I think, back in 2019. They raised $25 billion. SpaceX is trying to raise 75, 3 times that. And demand is already at $150 billion, double what they're asking for in 4 days. This hedge fund guy said something this past week I just can't stop thinking about. He said Wall Street is no longer asking why you buy SpaceX. Now they're asking why you wouldn't buy SpaceX. So think about what that means. Normally when you buy a risky stock, you have to justify the decision. With SpaceX, it's kind of flipped, you know? Now you have to justify not buying it. And that is the most powerful thing Wall Street has said about any IPO in I don't know how many years. Here's what I want you to think about. Slow down for a second, all right? Because 2 times oversubscribed sounds amazing, like on the surface. And I'm not saying it's not, but here's what it actually means for you as a retail trader. The institutions already got theirs. That's what, 150 billion in demand. Almost all of it is hedge funds, pension funds, sovereign wealth. They get their shares at 135 bucks. You buying on June 12th when the market opens, you are buying at whatever price it opens at, which based on this level of demand could be, I don't know, 20 to 40% higher than the 135 before you even click buy. So just do that math, all right? So let me give you the Goldman Sachs number, all right? So the lead underwriter on this deal, that's Goldman Sachs. They're projecting $474 billion in SpaceX revenue by 2030. AI alone, $322 billion of that. So for context, SpaceX reported $3.2 billion in AI revenue in 2025. Goldman is projecting 100 times that in 5 years. From the bank that is collecting $4.5 billion in fees. They're getting the money, they're getting the fees, right? So regardless of where the stock trades on June 13th, they're gonna get paid. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying know who's telling you the story and ask yourself, who benefits from your excitement right now? And then, so what do you actually do? Like, what's next? I dropped my SPCX report earlier today, the T-4 days. It's the trading strategy. And I want to give you 5 actual options with the data behind each one of those. All right. So not financial advice. This is just information. Option 1, you buy at the offer price of 135 bucks. That's on Schwab, Fidelity, Robinhood, SoFi, E-Trade. That's if you can get the shares at 135. Historically, this is the best retail entry, right? Go check your brokers right now if this is your plan. Today, before pricing night on June 11th. Option number 2, you buy at the open on June 12th. You'll be paying about $135, probably significantly above Morningstar. Morningstar's projection at 20 to 30% higher on the day-to-day swings. So that means the stock could go up 30% on day 1 or down 30% in either direction, violently. Like, get ready. That's a high risk. Know what's going on before you get in. Option 3, wait 2 to 5 days. This is historically the smartest entry for retail investors. Let the day one chaos settle. And if the stock is still above the offer price after 48 hours, that is a signal. It means real demand and not just hype. If it breaks above 135 in the first 2 days, 67.6% of IPOs that do that have negative 3-year returns. A few days of patience tells you everything. Option 4, wait for the index bomb around July 7th. We covered that in the T-6 report, the $600 billion forced buying wave. Active traders are going to buy SPCX early, specifically to sell into that wave. So if you're not in a hurry, the index inclusion date gives you the most information of any entry point in all the calendar dates that I've been spitting out. All right, so option 5, final option 5, don't buy it at all. Now I know that sounds crazy right now, right? Because I'm super bullish all of a sudden. 64% of IPOs underperform the S&P 500 in year 1. The median IPO return is negative. That's 7.7%. We covered all of that in T-minus 10. Go back and read it. Not buying is a completely valid strategy, especially if you already have Tesla exposure, like me. And you're essentially doubling down on one person. We covered this. One person, one guy, you know his name, Elon, right? There's one question I want you to answer before June 12th for yourself. Are you buying the company or are you buying the momentum? If you believe in SpaceX's 10-year trajectory, if you believe Starlink will have 100 million subscribers, which I personally do, the Starship will make launch costs 10 times cheaper, I personally do, the data infrastructure in orbit thesis plays out, then the entry price matters less. Buy your position, hold it, come back in 5 years. But if you're buying because everyone else is, because the hype is loud and you don't want to miss it, you know, FOMO, whatever, that is the most dangerous reason to buy any stock, especially this one, the largest, officially the largest IPO in history. And look, I told you at the start of the series, I came into SpaceX completely neutral. I'm not neutral anymore. The oversubscription, the Goldman projections, the Starlink numbers, the empire map we talked about. I have spent most of 10 days living inside this story. And I want you to sit with that for a minute, not as a buy signal, as information. You make your own decision, because I don't know where you are at in this whole thing, but make an informed one. Tomorrow, Tuesday, T-minus 3 more days till SpaceX IPOs. June 11th is when everything gets set, the final price, the final allocations. And we are going to have a very special conversation in that report that I think is going to be the most valuable in this entire series. Stay tuned, and we're going to have that out for you tomorrow. Go get T-minus 4 right now. I'm Jeanette Sims, and remember, trade thirsty, my friends.